I'm David Sheff. I'm the author of the books Beautiful Boy and Clean, and most recently High, which is a book for young adults to try to educate them about addiction and related issues.
And I'm Nic Sheff, and I am the author of Tweak and this new book, High, and I'm a screenwriter. And I've been sober for 9 years now, which is crazy, but amazing. I remember when I was growing up, and I was going through puberty, my dad gave me this book that was like everything that you want to know about puberty or something. And I read the book, like when I had questions, I would look up things in the book, and it was really helpful for me. So I think for us, it felt like there's nothing like that for drug use.
So we decided that, first of all, people who are growing up, they are going to have to navigate a world in which drugs are everywhere. Drugs are ubiquitous, and they have to make decisions about them, and they need information. So a big part of the book is about facts, not just what the drugs are that many kids are exposed to, but also how drugs work. Why do they make you feel good, at least for a while? What's going on in the brain? And then what happens if you continue using them, how the brain changes, and what is going on in your life, in your own brain at the time when many people are starting to use drugs. And of course, it turns out that adolescence is the time when our brains are developing more than ever, and that we know, in spite of what a lot of kids understand, is that drugs have an enormous impact on the developing brain.
To just have all this information in one place and to be able to share our stories and really talk to kids in a way that is just coming from a place of truth, I think is always the best policy. Hopefully they can see that this is coming from our experience, and it's real.
Because of Nic's story that interweaves throughout the book, I think it really is a compelling read. And it also is a story that, again, Nic isn't just talking about his drug use. He's talking about growing up and how hard it was for him growing up. And I think that when kids see that, even if it's before questions about drugs have come up, people will see themselves in those situations, feeling alienated. And contrary to the feeling of adults looking over there thinking that, this is, teenagers will do what teenagers will do, and it's about having fun and peer pressure and all that stuff. What we know now is that a lot of drug use is related to other problems. It's related to stress. It's related to confusion growing up in a world where there's all kinds of pressures, and sometimes there's home problems at home, and sometimes frustrations at school and relationships. Then we have kids who are growing up with things like depression and other mental illnesses. And so much of that is connected to drug use that we felt it was really, really important. In fact, maybe the most important thing is to help people understand that.
There's definitely a benefit for parents to read this book along with their kids. And, the thing that I think when we look back on our experience, we just really, I feel like I really just didn't, and I know we both feel this way, we just didn't have the information about what addiction is, what these drugs were actually doing to us, and what the best way to approach these issues was with each other. Having open dialogue and open communication and figuring out ways to help parents talk to their kids about these issues is so important.
If it opens a conversation between parents and kids, then that's fabulous. And that is, it's what we need most of all, because that relationship means not only do parents and children share information, but also it's about building a relationship. And the closer a family is, the more bonded parents and kids are, the more likely they're going to know when a child is in trouble, the more comfortable the child is to talk to them, to talk to their mom or dad.